Okay, so this video is going to be a bit different actually. I might have to lower the the game volume, but I did want to tell like a story. Usually, I know I don't do this, but I was just bored thinking to myself one day, and I was like, what would be an interesting like little video, like story time, right? Kind of like one of my personal favorite content creators are like Jaden Animations, and all her videos are essentially real life events slash stories that she tells, or like things about herself. Like recently, her last video I believe was I'm a vegetarian. I haven't told nobody in like 8 years, like 10 years or some shit, and I'm like, what the hell? But I wanted to go over the day that cements itself in my mind as the worst day of my life, and I might have to lower Afqm's volume for this, or just speak a little bit louder so mic. But essentially, this was the day that I call the worst in my life, and I always have called it for a very long time. And not because today's been a bad day, just to like emphasize that. Not because today's been a bad day, today's been a completely normal day for me. But I just wanted to make a different type of video. But I was 12, and I have two younger brothers. And this day specifically, I think I got in trouble with a teacher. So like, to start like the story, I went to school, right? Completely normal day. Went to school. I walked to school, or I ride my bike technically. And yeah, so I get to school, normal day. I think this day specifically, I say I think because it's been a couple years since I've had another day that I can call my worst. But or since this day has played out. But I go to school, and I'm a very like quiet kid. I don't usually talk much or get in trouble at all. But I think this is around the time when regular show had the what the heck is it called? I'm trying to remember it as like I'm trying to fight. um Do me a solid. Yeah, that's what it was. It was like do me a solid, and I didn't get in like real big trouble, but somebody asked me like do a solid, don't talk unless like something unless I ask you to like break the solid or whatever, right? It was the solid was basically be quiet, essentially. So the teacher was asking me something, and because I'm thinking about regular show, if you don't do the solid, you like Mordecai kept hitting Rigby. So I'm thinking, hey, if I break this solid, this person has a reason to like hit me, and I'm not a fighter either. I'm very much not. So now I'm like, get hit or just get in trouble with the teacher. And I do decide to get in trouble with the teacher. She's like, do you want to go to a principal office? And I'm like no. Eventually, I just break it. And I'm just like, no, I don't want to go to the principal office. I get made fun of later on for, failing it. But it was that or, like have my mom called and my mom get in trouble with my mother. I would much rather get in school, right? I lowered the volume some more, just in case you guys couldn't hear me. So, I'm a playroom. So after that, completely normal day. It starts raining, so I have to go home in the rain. Again, normal day for the most part. Weather happens; it can rain, and biking home in the rain. Biking. I get completely soaked. I think I have homework in my bag, and I'm just like dripping wet head to toe. And I was just like, dang, bro, this is like turning out to be a really bad day. So after all of that, I finally get home, dripping wet, my keys and like my stuff staying in my backpack. I can't find my keys. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting made fun of in school. Freaking, I'm dripping wet. I like, how could this day get worse? Then I have my house key. The one thing in my bag I cannot find. Literally can't find it for the life of me. I'm like, where is my keys at? So I have a friend's house right across the street from me at the time, and I was like, I wonder if he's home. So I went over there, and I asked, I was like, hey, is he home? And they're like, no, he isn't. And I'm like, oh, well, can I please come inside? I'm like dripping away. I can't find my house key. And like this, that, and the fourth. I got like a little bit of everything going on. And they're like, yeah, sure, come inside. They put me. It's an old couple. They're like, you can wear my husband's pants and like a shirt if you want one. So eventually, I'm like, I don't want a shirt. I'm good. I'm chilling. So they give me like really really big like shorts, and I'm just like, geez, dude, these things are massive. um, So eventually, the rain stops. I look through my bag again, and my keys are like at the very bottom of my bag. And I'm just like, bruh, I don't know why I couldn't find them before. I just rolled in there like 3 times in a row. But I was like, yeah, this is like a pretty bad day. So eventually the rain stops. Rain stops, whatever. I can go about my day. I found my keys. So I go home to like um to my I go home to change and to get out of these wet clothes, and I honestly, like, this is the part that goes a little bit blank. I don't remember how my brothers got home. Like, I know my mom picked them up because she picked them up with her boyfriend at the time, and she was like, hey boy, sit down. I like I said, I just came home, long day. So I'm like, okay, mom wants to sit all 3 of us down. Maybe we did something or in trouble. Whatever, sure. We had just recently gotten a puppy. And I remember this puppy very clearly. I forget his name at the time of like saying this. I think it was Tank. It was Tank. It was a little black pit bull puppy. He was super cute. Loved him. Didn't know him very long. I noticed the day before that he was moving a bit sluggish. But at the time, I'm like 12. So, I don't think much of it. Am I dead? I am dead. I forgot to up again. I don't think I could. So the day previous, he was acting a little weird. But I'm like 12 at the time, and my brothers are 4 and 5 years apart from me. So one's 8 and one's 7. They don't know any more than I do. So I'm like, hey, the dog's acting weird, but what do I know? What I didn't know is that we had a pool in our back porch, and my mom and her boyfriend at the time decided it would be best to keep the dog in the back porch like overnight, or I don't remember if it was overnight or it was just at some point during the day. So they they sit us down and they're like, hey boys, need to tell you something important, me and my brothers. And I don't know what the heck this guy's doing. I don't know what the heck he's doing. I don't know if he just didn't want to play Ninja again or he doesn't want to play me again. I'm really hoping he wants to keep playing me so I can keep my story going. So eventually my mom sits us down and she's like, Tank wasn't feeling well yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, I knew about that. My brothers didn't because I was the one responsible for taking care of the dog until my mom got home. And I think they only saw the dog very briefly. So, just like looking at the dog, you don't know what's going on. So eventually she tells us Tank died because when he was out in the back, he ate the pool toys. And that's why he was acting strange the previous day. Usually I didn't realize, I take him outside, he'll pee and poop and go about his happy life. He's a puppy. And he didn't live that happy life because he ate pool toys. And I don't really know who to blame here. As granted, he's a puppy. He doesn't know anything. So really, who to blame is like my mom. But for some reason, in my like 12-year-old brain, I was like blaming myself. I was like, I could have realized that there was something wrong with Tank, and I could have did something. And then I'm like reflecting on that moment like years later, and I'm like, I really couldn't have. I don't know how to treat a puppy that has like pool toys stuck in its like throat or whatever. So that's when I don't think I'm gonna find somebody. I don't think I'm gonna find somebody. So I might just move this video to training, or not move this video, move this to like training mode. But yeah. So the dog dies, and the Tank died, and me and my brothers just sit there crying our eyes out. We never cried like this before. We're all super young. I think at this point we've had the puppy for like a week or two, so we haven't even developed like a real strong bond with it, but we still loved it, because it was one of our first puppies. So yeah, that's the day I like labeled as like my worst. By the way, just to like clarify, nothing else eventful happened for the rest of the day. We buried him at my grandpa's old house, and then we played with our grandpa's dog, and then went home, and it was just another day from there on forward. So yeah, that was the day I like labeled as my worst. Went to school, got in trouble, went home in the soaking wet rain. I was biking there, couldn't find my key, and ended up going to a neighbor's house. Was sitting half naked on the neighbor's like living room couch because I couldn't find my keys. By the way, my keys were there, just at like the very bottom of the bag. I guess there was like so much water in it, I couldn't find it at first. And then I finally made it home, switched to my normal clothes, and then found out my dog died. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to make this a super sad story, but also just like adding to it. This isn't in the same timeline. This is about 2 or 3 years ago. I can check my calendar. I had an all white Chihuahua named Fifi. She was my dog, my grandpa's dog more specifically. And I moved in with my grandpa, and I loved that dog to death. She died about 2 or 3 years ago, and I knew her time was coming. And I loved her so much that I sat in front of her cage in the middle of the night until she died. And, it just like really hurt me. But yeah, again, not trying to like, I know the vibe of the video is like sad story. Dang, I'm not finding so much sad story. Don't want to make it like depressing. But yeah, that is just like one thing I just wanted to like get out there. Not trying to like wish for people's affection or not affection. Sorry, I don't know the right word. I don't know what word I'm looking for. But empathy. I'm not looking for people's empathy. Again, all of these events are really old, but I just wanted to like tell a story because I don't usually do this type of thing on my YouTube channel. Usually, I just upload like hype clips or something of this game, and I'm just like, yeah, that's the video for today. But I don't know. Today I felt like doing something different. If you guys want more videos like this, please just let me know. I don't have a bunch of sad stories specifically. I do have a bunch of maybe funny stories. Maybe that's more of the vibe that people want. Instead of, my dog died and then my dog died again and I watched her die years later. That's not what I'm going to name the title of this video. But yeah, that's all I really have for today. If there were more matches to be played, maybe I would have like talked about something else. But yeah, so Tank and Fifi died on me. One I watched died, and then one was just very young, and I felt bad that how young it was. And imagine, like I'm 12, me and my brothers are like 8 and 7. They don't know any more than I do at the time. So yeah, just wanted to do a little storytelling. I'm gonna call it here, but I do hope you guys liked the story, even if it was a bit sad. And then you guys can also tell me if you want more videos like this. And if not, I'll probably upload more videos with no commentary at all. But this is a new one just because I had it on my mind. So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I hope you all have a blessed day. Bye.